In this video, we will dive into the less-told story of Operation Persecution, which occurred during the World War II. Stay tuned as we uncover the less-told story. During World War II, the Allies launched a critical amphibious assault on April 22, 1944, targeting Aitape as part of the Western New Guinea campaign. This mission coincided with landings at Humboldt and Tanamera Bays, aiming to secure Hollandia and cut off the Japanese 18th Army stationed at Wewak. While the primary phase of the operation ended on May 4th, clashes between American and Japanese forces persisted in the region until early August following a Japanese counteroffensive. Eventually, Aitape became an essential base for the Allies, playing a key role in supporting Australian forces during the Aitape-Wewak campaign into 1945. What is the strategic importance of Aitape? To answer this, Aitape is located on the northern coast of New Guinea, about 201 kilometers, 125 miles, southeast of Hollandia. Aitape had been under Japanese control since December 1942. The Japanese had constructed Taji Airfield nearby, which made the location strategically valuable. Throughout 1943 and early 1944, the Allies focused on isolating the Japanese stronghold at Rabaul. Intelligence suggested Aitape had only a light defensive presence, prompting General Douglas MacArthur to approve its capture in March 1944. This move allowed the Allies to bypass heavily fortified Japanese positions at Hansa Bay and Wewak. What is the Allied strategy? At Wewak, General Hataso Adachi commanded the Japanese 18th Army, which had access to the largest airbase in mainland New Guinea. Securing Aitape served multiple purposes: preventing a Japanese counterattack on Hollandia, taking control of Taji Airfield for future operations, and establishing a small naval base to support additional campaigns in the Pacific. What is the battle plan? Operations Reckless and Persecution involved an extensive deployment of Allied forces. A fleet of 217 ships carried and protected approximately 52,000 troops, with 22,500 designated for the Aitape landing. Overall command of the mission was given to Lieutenant General Walter Kruger of the 6th United States Army, known as Alamo Force. Initial intelligence estimated around 3,500 Japanese troops in the Aitape region, including 1,500 combat soldiers from Shigeru Katagiri's 20th Division. To weaken enemy defenses, Task Force 58, led by Vice Admiral M.A. Mitcher, launched a bombardment on April 21st to 22nd, striking Japanese positions at Sawar, Wadki Island, Hollandia, and Sarmi. The Eastern Attack Group, Task Group 77.3, commanded by Captain Albert G. Noble, supported the Aitape landings, working under Rear Admiral Daniel E. Barbee's larger Task Force 77. Additional air support came from 8 escort carriers and U.S. Army Air Force bombers, while naval firepower was provided by destroyers, high-speed transports, and a Liberty ship. The invasion force at Aitape was led by Brigadier General Yenze Do and primarily composed of the U.S. 163rd Infantry Regiment from the 41st Infantry Division. This unit was part of the Reckless Task Force, reporting directly to Kruger, and operated alongside the Persecution Task Force under Lieutenant General Robert L. Eichelberger, which was responsible for capturing Hollandia. Departing from Cape Cretin in mid-April, the Allied forces conducted rehearsals near Lae before assembling near Manus Island on April 20th. The invasion fleet then advanced toward its targets. Roughly 130 kilometers, 80 miles, from the New Guinea coast, the Eastern Attack Group separated from the main convoy and proceeded toward Aitape. The landing was planned at Blue Beach, a 1,100-meter, 1,200-yard shoreline about 1.6 kilometers, 1 mile from Taji Airfield. However, thick smoke from fires caused confusion, leading the landing craft to drift off course and arrive at Wapel instead on April 22nd. The 163rd Regimental Combat Team landed in 9 waves, facing minimal resistance. Japanese forces fired only a few rifle shots before retreating into the hills. With the beachhead secured, the Royal Australian Air Force's No. 62 Works Wing came ashore on April 22nd to take control of and repair Taji Airfield. General MacArthur personally observed the landings from a light cruiser before stepping ashore. By 1 p.m., the main airstrip was under Allied control, and by April 23rd, infantry units had secured the unfinished western section of Taji Airfield. The RAF worked around the clock, making the airstrip operational in just 48 hours. On April 24th, P-40 fighter planes from No. 78 Wing landed with the remaining aircraft following the next day to provide air support for both Aitape and Hollandia operations. Advancing westward, U.S. infantry forces encountered little resistance, suffering only 2 casualties. On April 23rd, the second wave of Allied forces, including the 127th Infantry Regiment from the 32nd Infantry Division, arrived. By April 24th, troops and tanks pushed westward, crossing the Raihu River with little opposition and securing Aitape Town and Rome Point, both abandoned by Japanese defenders. With Aitape under control, Allied forces pursued small groups of retreating Japanese soldiers. Some fled east toward Wewak, while others attempted to reach Vanamo, both still under Japanese occupation. Between April 28th to 29th, the 3rd Battalion reached Kamti Village, near present-day Payawa, encountering the most significant Japanese resistance in the region before May 4th. A force of around 200 Japanese soldiers launched multiple attacks but suffered heavy losses, losing about 90 men. In contrast, the 3rd Battalion lost 3 men, with 2 others wounded. On April 30th, Allied troops withdrew from Kamti, while Battery A of the 126th Field Artillery Battalion bombarded the village with 105mm shells. The next day, when Company L of the 163rd Infantry Regiment returned, they found no further resistance. By early May, large-scale combat operations in Aitape had ended, and the 32nd Division took over security duties from the 163rd Infantry Regiment. The capture of Aitape proved to be a vital victory for the Allies, solidifying their control over Western New Guinea and providing a key foothold for future operations in the Pacific. If you found this story interesting, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on our channel for more video like this. Stay tuned.